The old house stood on a hill overlooking the town, a skeletal silhouette against the bruised twilight sky. Locals called it the Whisper House, a name earned through generations of ghost stories and cautionary tales. But to me, it was just a shortcut. A way to shave 10 minutes off my walk home from the library. I'd never believed the stories. Not until tonight. The air grew heavy as I approached, thick with the scent of damp earth and decay. A fog, unusually dense for a clear evening, coiled around the rusted iron gates. I pushed one open, the shriek of metal on metal echoing like a scream. A shiver, cold and unwelcome, traced a line down my spine. I told myself it was just the autumn chill. But the feeling lingered, a knot of unease tightening in my stomach. The path was overgrown, weeds cracking the paving stones. The house loomed larger with every step, its windows like vacant eyes staring out into the darkness. I kept my gaze fixed on the ground, counting my steps, trying to ignore the oppressive silence. But the silence wasn't empty. It was listening. That's when I heard it. A whisper, faint and dry as rustling leaves. It seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. I froze, straining to hear. Was it just the wind sighing through the broken panes of glass? I tried to convince myself it was, but the sound came again, closer this time, clearer. A name. My name. My heart hammered against my ribs, a frantic drumbeat in the sudden stillness. Who's there? I called out, my voice trembling, sounding small and pathetic against the vast, dark facade of the house. The only reply was the same whisper, weaving through the fog, coiling around me like a phantom touch. Sarah. Panic seized me. I turned to run, to flee back the way I came, but the gate, which had stood open moments before, was now shut. A solid, unmoving barrier of iron. I rattled it, my hands slick with cold sweat, but it wouldn't budge. I was trapped. The whispering grew more insistent, a chorus of voices now, all murmuring my name. They seemed to emanate from the house itself, from the cracked walls and the shadowed porch. Sarah, come inside. The front door, a heavy slab of oak I'd assumed was long since sealed, slowly creaked open, revealing a gaping maw of impenetrable blackness. I backed away, stumbling over a loose stone. My mind screamed at me to run, to find another way out, but my feet felt rooted to the spot. The whispers were changing, their tone shifting from a soft invitation to a chilling demand. You belong with us, Sarah. Then I saw them. Figures, barely visible in the deepening gloom, coalescing in the doorways and windows of the house. Pale, translucent shapes with hollow eyes and mouths stretched in silent screams. They weren't ghosts in the way stories described them, they were echoes. Echoes of fear, of sorrow, trapped within these walls, and they were lonely. One figure detached itself from the doorway and drifted onto the porch. It was a young woman, her dress from another era, her face a mask of timeless grief. She raised a spectral hand, beckoning to me. Don't be afraid, her whisper caressed my ear, though her mouth never moved. We've been waiting for you. Waiting for me. Why? I managed to choke out, the words catching in my throat. The figure tilted its head. The house chooses, it whispered. It chooses those who are lost, those who feel alone. It offers a home. I thought about my life. The quiet apartment, the friends who had moved away, the gnawing sense of being adrift. Had the house sensed that? Had it called to a loneliness in me I hadn't even fully admitted to myself? The thought was more terrifying than any ghost. I'm not lost, I said, my voice gaining a sliver of strength. I'm not one of you. The air grew colder still. The chorus of whispers swelled into a cacophony of sorrowful wails. The figures began to press forward, their forms becoming more solid, their empty eyes locking onto mine. They weren't inviting anymore. They were demanding. They wanted to pull me into their static, endless existence. You are, they hissed in unison, the sound scraping the inside of my skull. You will be. A primal fear, pure and undiluted, finally broke the paralysis. I scrambled backward, away from the reaching, ethereal hands, my eyes darting around for any escape. The wall surrounding the property was high and topped with jagged stones, but to my right a section had crumbled, leaving a gap just wide enough to squeeze through. With the wailing of the damned at my back, I sprinted. Thorny branches tore at my clothes and skin, but I didn't feel it. All I felt was the icy breath of the house on my neck, the desperate pull of its loneliness. I threw myself at the gap in the wall, scraping my side on the rough stone, and tumbled out onto the damp grass beyond the grounds. I didn't stop running. I ran until my lungs burned and my legs felt like lead. My legs felt like lead. I ran until the silhouette of the Whisper House was lost to the night, until the only sound was my own ragged breathing and the frantic pounding of my own heart. I never took that shortcut again. Sometimes on quiet nights, when the wind is just right, I think I can still hear them. Faint whispers carried on the breeze, calling my name, reminding me of the night the house tried to make me its own. It's a reminder that some places are filled with more than just dust and memories. They're filled with an emptiness so profound it will try to swallow you whole. Thanks so much for joining me for this story. If you enjoyed this journey into the dark, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more tales from the shadows. Stay safe out there, and until next time, sleep tight.